Hey, have you ever felt like you're not fully you in your life? Like your calendar, your career, even your Instagram feed were created for someone else's approval. The Transcendentalists, thinkers like Ralph Waldo Emerson, Henry David Thoreau, and Margaret Fuller, would look you in the eye and say, "You're not here to fit in. You're here to remember who you are." Let's take a walk through their wisdom and find your way back to yourself. Trust thyself, Emerson's fierce reminder. Trust thyself. Every heart vibrates to that iron string. That's Ralph Waldo Emerson. He wasn't saying, do what you want. He was saying, what if the answers you're looking for are already inside you? There's a story that Emerson once told a young man who asked for life advice. Do your work and I shall know you. Translation: stop explaining yourself. Do the thing that feels like yours to do. He believed that self-trust is sacred, not arrogance but intuition. When you override your truth to please others, that's when life begins to feel empty. Ever said yes to something that made your soul say no? That's the price of ignoring your compass. There's a story of a poet in Kerala who worked for a software company for 7 years. She told me she used to write poems during her lunch break and hide them in her drawer. One day, her manager found one and said, "Why are you here?" That one comment unraveled something in her. She left the job, and today she publishes poems about silence, rivers, and women who refuse to shrink. She said it was never about being famous. It was about being free. And you know what's wild? The moment you trust your own rhythm, even if others don't get it, you'll feel whole again. Just trust yourself. Listen to that inner voice. Whenever you feel lost, whenever you feel stressed out, whenever you're disturbed, just take a moment to listen to yourself. Have daily conversations with yourself. Be in touch with yourself. Simplicity isn't minimalism, it's power. Thoreau didn't just talk. He lived in a cabin by Walden Pond for 2 years, just to see what life felt like without all the noise. But simplicity for him wasn't about counting possessions. It was about clearing out anything that distracts you from your soul. One of his famous lines is, "Our life is frittered away by detail. Simplify, simplify." There's a modern story of a woman in Bengaluru who left her corporate job and downsized to a 1 BHK flat so she could spend time painting full time. She told me, "I didn't downsize my home, I upsized my peace." And I once spoke to an elderly man who lives in a mud house with no fridge, no TV, and no watch. He grows his own food and walks to the river every morning. When asked if he misses anything, he smiled and said, "I miss noise when I go to the city. Here, I can hear the stars." What can you remove to get closer to your truth? Nature is not a retreat, it's a mirror. Transcendentalists believe that nature is not a break from life, it is life. I hope majority of this population understands this. Emerson once wrote, "In the woods, we return to reason and faith." Why? Because in the wild, there's no need to prove yourself. The trees don't rush to bloom. The river doesn't compare its flow. I remember visiting a forest monastery where the monks meditate outside with no walls between them and the world. One monk told me, "You can't lie to the trees. They see you." That stayed with me. Next time you feel lost, try this. Leave your phone, walk barefoot on grass, watch a leaf fall, Let the earth remind you how to be still. You don't have to escape to find peace. You just have to return. Solitude is not loneliness, it's alignment. Thoreau once said, I never found a companion that was so companionable as solitude. And while that might sound extreme in our always online world, here's what he meant. Being alone doesn't mean you're lacking, it means you're listening. In solitude, you meet yourself without filters, without applause. Remember the story of J.D. Salinger? After the fame of The Catcher in the Rye, he moved to a small town and stopped publishing. People thought he went crazy, but his letters later revealed he simply wanted to live quietly without performing. I once met a girl who turned off social media for a year after college. She journaled every day, took long walks, and reconnected with her grandmother. She told me it was the first time I liked who I was without the world clapping. Sometimes your highest growth happens when nobody is watching. Be your voice, not an echo. Margaret Fuller, a transcendentalist, writer and fierce advocate for women's rights, once said, I accept the universe. And when someone mocked her saying she'd better, she replied, Sir, I had no choice. The confidence wasn't arrogance, it was alignment. Transcendentalism teaches you, don't be an echo of someone else's life. Be a voice. Start small. Say what you really think. Wear what you really like. Write what actually lives inside you, not what sounds clever. Because the world needs less polish and more real. There's a boy in Goa who runs a podcast from his bedroom, interviewing fishermen and grandmothers. He said, I wanted to tell stories no one listens to, and in doing that, I found my own. That's it. Find what lights you up and follow it, even if it scares you. Return to your roots. So, if you're wondering how to be true to yourself, the Transcendentalists whisper, get still, get simple, get close to nature, and most of all, trust that your soul came here for something. You don't need to rush, you don't need to shout, you just need to return to who you've always been. And that is enough. Thank you.